students, welcome back to another lecture on in image segmentation. Today we'll start with age linking and boundary detection. In previous lectures, we have learned some algorithms for age detection, and these age detection algorithms are always followed by the age linking algorithm. So what is the reason why we need age linking algorithms? Because age detection technique rarely characterize the ages completely. It means after applying age detection algorithms, still it is not possible to get the ages, complete ages or meaningful ages. There are some reasons for that, like noise. Because of the noise, there may be some breaks in the ages, or maybe because of the non-uniform illumination, there may be some breaks in the ages, and there may be some other effects that introduce the spurious discontinuities, like in intensity values. So age detection algorithm is always followed by age linking algorithm, which assemble the age pixels into meaningful ages and region boundaries. So here there are three main approaches, fundamental approaches for age linking. The first approach is based on the knowledge about the age points in a local region. So we only consider a part of the image, the local region of the image, like a 3x3 or 5x5 mask, and we compute the age linking. Second requires knowledge about the points on the boundary of the region. So here in the image we consider only one region. We are not using the whole image, or we will not apply this age linking on whole image, but we will only consider one region in the age where we know that object would be there in that particular region, and then we apply the age linking algorithm. And the third approach is based on a global approach, which works on the entire image. So like we have three approaches: one is local, second is regional, and third is global. Today we are going to see the local processing approach, or local. So here what we are doing is we are finding out the characteristics of pixels in a small neighborhood about every point xy in the image, that is to be analyzed. For whatever image is there, whatever pixel points are there, for each point we are going to characterize it with a small neighborhood. That means what, we can consider a 3x3 pixel mask, and then each pixel will be compared in that 3x3 mask, or it will be compared with all its neighbors. So if you consider 3x3 mask, one pixel will be having 8 neighbors. So one pixel will be compared with 8 neighbors for the similarities according to the predefined criteria, for whether they have to find whether they are linked or not. Now what are the predefined criteria? Can be the predefined criteria can be strength, that is the magnitude, and the direction of the gradient vector. Okay, so if you see this, every pixel will be compared with its 8 neighbors. If I take a 3x3 neighborhood, and if I take a bigger neighborhood, let's say 5x5, then each pixel will be compared with the rest of the 24 neighbors. So this is going to be computationally very expensive, because all neighbors we have to examine for each pixel. So a simplified approach here can be used for real-time applications, which will include the steps which will be shown in the next slide. So just you have to remember that here we are finding out the similarities between the age points, and those similarity criteria are already predefined, which are based on the magnitude and the direction of the gradient vector. So what this algorithm says, local processing. The first step here, what we are going to do is compute the gradient magnitude and angle arrays mxy and alpha xy of the input image fxy. Now we already know how to calculate the magnitude and angle arrays. So you can apply any gradient method like or gradient operator like Sobel or Privet to find out the gradient magnitude of the image and the angle of the image. Now once you know the gradient magnitude and gradient angle, we will go to the next step, that is step 2. Now in step 2 what we are doing is we are forming a binary image G out of my image f of xy. Okay, so how to calculate the value of G? So value at any pair coordinates G, X, Y in G will be given by the following formula. The formula says that Gxy is going to be 1 if mxy, that is the magnitude at that coordinate xy, is greater than some threshold Tm, and so this is a logical answer. This and this, both the conditions have to be satisfied. The second condition says alpha xy is equal to a plus t plus minus ta. Okay, so when both these conditions are satisfied, then only the gxy will be assigned value 1, otherwise it will be assigned value 0. So this is again a type of thresholding that we are using, but here the thresholding, there are two thresholding criteria, one for the magnitude and one for the direction, and when both these criteria are satisfied, then only the value of pixel will be assigned 1, otherwise it will be assigned 0. So what actually this condition means? This condition means, we will see in detail, that gxy will be set to 1 if the magnitude mxy at any point xy is greater than some threshold value Tm. Now this Tm can be decided like some percentage of the maximum pixel value in mxy. So once you calculate the mxy, that is the gradient magnitude of the image mxy, you can say you can find out the maximum value present in this gradient magnitude image, and then some percentage of that maximum value can be set as this threshold. As well as you have to follow the second condition also, that is nothing but the direction angle alpha xy will be equal to some specified angle direction A. Now this specified angle direction can be anything, let's say 90. So 90 represents what? A vertical image, right? In the previous canny edge detection algorithm, we have seen one graph or a circle which was denoting me, or which were telling us the specified range of angles for assigning a direction. So you can use that chart for this particular calculation of angle. So alpha xy is calculated as some specified angle direction plus minus the band of acceptable regions about A. So suppose my direction A I am considering as 90 degrees, which is representing a vertical direction. So for this, if you follow that chart, the plus minus values are from 112.5 to 67.5. Please refer that diagram, so then you will understand this band of acceptable direction. So when both these conditions are satisfied, the value is assigned 1. Okay, so basically what we are doing here is we are checking each and every point for both these similarities. So the pixel should be similar in direction, in magnitude, as well as the pixel should be similar in direction with respect to the neighboring pixels, and only then the value will be assigned 1, otherwise the value will be assigned 0. Then what we are going to do is, next step after doing this, so after doing this, the second step, we will get an image G of xy which is going to be a binary image having only ones and zeros. Then what we have to do, we have to scan the rows of G and fill the gaps by 1. Fill the gaps means we have to set the value to 1, and gaps means all the 0 values in each row. that do not exceed a specified length k. Now what does it mean? After applying the second, or after the step 2, I'm going to get a binary image with ones and zeros, right? So suppose I have got one image, and in that image, suppose this values are like this: 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, something like this. So what does it represent? We have some values ones on the left hand side, but in between there are two zeros. Again there are three ones on this side and two ones on this side. So this is considered as gap. Okay, what is considered as gap? A gap is bounded at both ends. Just read this in step 3. A gap is bounded at both ends by one or more ones. Only then it is considered as gaps. So here also we have 0 and here also we have 0, but this cannot be considered as gaps. Okay, so these zeros have to be bounded by ones on both the sides, then only it is considered as a gap, and all these gap pixels will be made 1, because this represents what? This represents there is a break in the edge, and those edges will be filled by 1. So this is how it works, and this is how we are achieving here the edge linking. Now this is only in one direction. So we have assumed initially that value of A is 90. So it is done in only vertical direction. So similarly, if I wanted to go for horizontal direction, I will set this threshold A as what? The angle for horizontal direction. Let's say 0 degrees. The 0 degrees represents the angle for horizontal, and plus minus of that, and for after doing it, for doing this, what we have to do? We have to go for step 4. What step 4 says? To detect the gap in other direction, what you have to do is we have to rotate the g of xy by the angle theta. Now the while applying 4th step, we are not using the original image f of xy, but we are using this resultant image g of xy, and we are going to apply step 4 on g of xy. Okay, so we are going to rotate this g of xy but whatever angle we want to apply, and then use the same procedure that we have done in step 2, that take the threshold and compare, and once we get the result, again this result will be rotated back by the angle minus theta, so that you will get the original image. Okay, so this is how the local processing is done. So we have to remember again, in case of local processing, we are only considering the neighborhood of the pixel, and we are calculating the similarities in terms of magnitude and direction. So each pixel is compared with its neighbor for magnitude and direction, and if that matches, then only it is considered as the edge points. And even there are some edge points missing, we are going to fill them with ones by checking the specified length. Now here I have not considered any specified length k in this example. So specified length can be, let's say, 2. So if the specified length is 2, then only I will fill this. In case like if here instead of getting 2 zeros, if I get here 3 zeros, so if my specified length is 2, I will not fill these 3 zeros with ones, because that does not represent the image. So specifying the length also is sometimes important. Okay, so thank you for listening to this lecture. Next lecture we will see the regional linking.